And it's Game 3 of the 2025 Central Plains Capitals Showcase. The 2025 Central Plains Capitals Showcase here live from Portage La Prairie at Stride Place Arena. It's a rural rivalry. Manitoba female hockey league fans, as we know you'll like this one coming up for our 3 p.m. game this afternoon, as it's going to be the defending champion Eastman selects from the MFHL taking on a rural rival in the Pembina Valley Hawks. Pembina Valley reigning from Morton, Manitoba, and for Eastman hailing from Niverville, Manitoba, as we take you through the quick keys to the games for these teams. Brought to you by Elite Prospects, Movement, Fitness, and Performance, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, and Terrico. As so far in this tournament, we've played 2 games. Game 3 gets going right away right here on your home for the 2025 Central Plains Capitals Showcase from today, September 19th, until Sunday, September 21st. It's Eastman, it's the Hawks, and it's live here on gshowproductions.uscreen.io. Eastman with a bit of a different look this year with their black jerseys. Not sure if we'll be seeing these regularly this year. This is news to me. So maybe these are just preseason jerseys for Eastman, as that shot off a stick and out of play has taken a tumble into the boards early on. Leah Clausen, I believe, or it might have been Michaela Warnick. But as we get into the starting goaltenders for this afternoon's action, in net for Eastman, it's second-year goaltender now, Isabelle Labossiere. And for the Pembina Valley Hawks, I believe that would be number 1 in Madison Freeze. As Ella Victor on this puck now tries to bank it off the glass and out, but takes a unfortunate bounce onto the stick of Darby. Darby, her pass out of the reach for number 3 in Manus. As given chase now, Leah Clausen ties up a select down below. That's Sophie Remillard, a new Remillard, joining in the mix here into the Eastman Selects U18 program, which was so skilled, so talented last year, deep at every single position. And the rumor has it that this year's Eastman team might be even better. A dangerous-looking chance there early on against Eastman as a nice look for this Pembina Valley Hawks team. Great defense by Caitlin Schroeder at the line to send that all the way down, as Madison Freeze is just going to cover things up here with 18:31 remaining in this first period of action. This, of course, we're brought to you by Elite Prospects, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Terrico, and Movement, Fitness, and Performance. Tie up on the face-off draw, controlled and won by the Selects. That shot from Sophie Remillard couldn't get through. Now on the stick of Schroeder, but she couldn't put it through. She had her pocket picked off the backboards. Eastman looking for a lucky bounce. That's saved by Freeze. Tallied away by the Hawks and sent in to the neutral ice near the Selects bench. This pass off the mark. It's turned over into the direction of number 17, Riley Harms. Holding the line, Sophie Remillard. Ends up to the right face-off circle. Puck in the middle, now sent out by the Pembina Valley Hawks and off the boards, all the way down below the goal line into Eastman's, and given chase, number 14 in Claire Boyd for Pembina Valley, but it's Eastman heading the other way. It's Isabella Carrier has that puck knocked off of her stick, as number 9, Maya Grenier, gets to it first there. Grenier takes a tumble down below. This be Reese Beavis, first one on it for the Selects. Beavis feeds a pass up to number 21 in Emily Carrier. Or Emily Carrier, as I should say. Might be Emily. We'll get that name corrected as this showcase weekend goes along. But this puck loose, picked up by Pembina Valley and sent cross ice. A nice breakout pass to, I believe, number 5 in Ariel Rondeau. Rondeau has that knocked away off her stick. It's Schroeder along the boards. Another teammate joins the battle. Number 23 in Summer Ray. As this D-to-D to Beavis. Beavis feeds one up to Schroeder. Schroeder looking to go one-on-one and makes a nice move past Victor, it looked like. Ended up just being a shot. Save made by Madison Freeze. Get a cover up here. This first period of action, by the way, brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Be sure to check them out today at 995 Milton Drive in Winnipeg if you're around that area in the capital of Manitoba. Or check out their website at cancentralsportscards.com today and see what they could do for shipping and whatnot to get you your sports cards or memorabilia or whatever else they sell. Is this in the corner? Both teams battling. Scott Cook locates Schroeder in the slot, but a nice block there by number 16 and McKenna Steves. Steves, one of the most experienced players on this year's Pembina Valley Hawks team, out there with her new D partner in Riley Harms. Pembina Valley looking ahead the other way, trying to chip and go with Sophia Cox, but nice job by Normando to cut her off and shut that down. Harms receiving a D-to-D pass, sends it up to Clausen, that off her stick, down low into the Selects end below their goal line. Normando fed a pass up, now that's to Schroeder, is that trying to get it past Sinead Convery, but unable to was Eastman. Now Clausen picks up this puck, looking to work her way in, decides to drop it to Convery instead before she ends up just sending it in. Deep stretch pass up, Isabella Carrier, 2 Hawks hailing down on her, trying to cut her off, but Carrier ends up just losing possession of this puck. It's this along the boards, sent down low. Grenier giving chase. Number 18 for the Selects is that out. That from the point, unable to get through. So it's Chloe Carrier who ended up taking the shot. Amelie Carrier. Delaney Rigaud out there. Where's number 18? The Rigaud twins making their return to Eastman this year after a storybook season for them. Coming over, being huge parts, the Rigaud twins, of Eastman's championship success last season. Cassie O'Brien, probably the top player on this year's Pembina Valley Hawks team, sends a pass to Hildebrand, but out of her reach as this goes down all the way for an icing. They get a stoppage with 13:49 remaining in this first period of action. Still scoreless. So it's the Selects who have the only 2 shots of the game so far. It'll be Summer Ray to take the draw. Ray ends up winning it. It's controlled back to the line for Remillard, as that's Sophie Remillard who sends it down low. Is into the possession of Darby. Feeds a pass up the middle to O'Brien as O'Brien starts to go for a skate. Dumps this in before getting cut off just before the blue line. Eastman on it first, but a good forecheck forces a turnover. Down low, it's Hildebrand. Behind the back pass, but no one home. As it's turned over into Eastman's possession. Stretch pass off the mark as this all the way down for, no, not an icing, as it ends up touching the stick of Freeze off the board. So we play on. Nice moves from Darby down low to evade the pressure. This, in all likelihood, an icing this time around, and it will be just that. That's Trevor Hildebrand, who's the head coach for the Eastman Selects this season, making his return to the U18 bench. I'll have to get some clarification, but I feel like Trevor's been a part of this program before. Familiar with how Eastman plays, familiar with this team style, and just looking to follow in the footsteps. The coaching staff from last year now the head coach taking over for Laird LaLuc, who was the bench boss head coach for this team last year. Matt Victor, by the way, returning for the Pembina Valley Hawks. Had a chance to interview him in episode 2, season 3 of our MFHL podcast. And he said this year's team, one thing he expects is for them to be hardworking. And for them to give some of the top contenders in the league what he was telling me, basically telling me he expects them to compete against some of the best teams in the league this year. Check out the interview with Matt Victor on our YouTube channel, G Show Productions. As Ferdy Nelson, the tournament organizer, also joined that one, previewing all 11 teams. And yeah, talking about the dominance of Eastman and how they're looking heading into this tournament. We touch on Pembina Valley, preview all 11 teams heading into this year's Central Plains Capital Showcase. That aired yesterday. Once again, if you want to find it, it's on our YouTube channel under the live section, if you're looking to find it. This gets rimmed around the boards, and being met there, Rondo by Beavis. Beavis, nice job to jump up into the play. He's joining the battle now. Delaney Rigaud, I believe, number 18. And 7, Beavis get beat there by the Hawks as they're able to maneuver out of it, winning that board battle. Sent right back in by Eastman and given chase. Delaney Rigaud not quick enough, though, as this gets sent up the boards. Held in by Beavis. Gets past the skate of Ron now to Steves. Steves' pass ends up missing. Trying to regroup now and trying to find another lane out. It's Bree Pierce. Pierce trying to go for a skate. Fan raising her arm for a penalty call, and that's what she's going to get. It's Pembina Valley Hawks team, that is. It's our first power play of the game. A trip on Bree Pierce. Nice job by Pierce to keep skating. Didn't stop moving those feet to draw that penalty. As our first power play of this afternoon in Game 3 goes to the Pembina Valley Hawks. Cassie O'Brien may be a focal point on this first unit this year. She wins the draw after being tied up a bit. Schroeder challenging Convery right now. Out there is one of the penalty killers. Low shot save made by Isabelle Labossiere. Her first action of this contest. Almost halfway into the first frame of this one. Given chase, first one on it. Summer Ray and 2 Hawks on her. Ray still holding that puck up. The Hawks can't get it loose. What an effort there from the rookie in number 22 as finally they do get it loose and look to make their way up. Fed onto the stick of O'Brien. O'Brien stick handling before the blue line, and an offside will be called on the play. Not enough urgency there on the zone entry from O'Brien. Failed to establish the zone. It was already for Pembina Valley, changing that first unit off, getting fresh legs onto the ice. A minute 20 remaining on this power play. Ella Victor looks to go for a skate in. Victor down the right side, shoveled this past Normando down low, but cut off by a select player. Can't be sent out, though, is Pierce. D. Darby tried to whip that across to Victor, but off the mark was that pass from 15 as Normando goes D. Chloe Carrier tries getting it out, just does, as initially went off the stick of Darby. Thought she might have held it, and a miss pass there from Darby as it's the ever so dangerous Chan Scott Cook down low. Fake shot before holding on to it. Scott Cook met by 2 Hawks players trying to keep this puck along the boards to kill some more time. 37 seconds remain on this Eastman Selects penalty kill. Scott Cook, what an effort there from 15. Puck finally gets by her, but leaves her mark on the Pembina Valley Hawks player behind the play. Gave Victor a physical shove into the boards. This number 18 slowly gets back to her bench. Really good penalty kill here from this Eastman Selects team. 15 seconds remain as it goes all the way down, with 9:37 left on the first period clock, too. Harms can't get that pass up to go. It was blocked by one of the Carriers. Now Pembina Valley does get it out. We're back to even strength as Eastman looks to control possession of this before breaking it out. Not to be, though, is the line held by Pembina Valley. Puck sent out by Eastman. Pembina Valley regrouping in their own end now. So got to retrace their steps. Steves all the way down below her goal line sends a pass to number 22 in Maya Brass. So both of these teams playing a bit of catch here early on in this game. A lot of dump-ins and a lot of retrievals and recoveries by the defensive team who have had the puck sent into their zone. Eastman looking to make something happen now. This up, Delaney Rigaud has Amelie Carrier with her. Rigaud just going to keep this on her stick, though, protecting it out wide. Down low, gets it to Carrier. Amelie tried to feed that to Scott Cook. Amelie back on it again, searching for it. Loose puck there. Now Rigaud, but can't get a shot to go on freeze. A select took a tumble. Pembina Valley looks to attack the other way. As Convery keeps this down low. Coley Carrier first one on it, chips and goes to herself off the boards there down low, but then it'll be cut off right after by Harness, or by Manis. Now to Scott Cook. Scott Cook breaking in, nice save by Freeze, holds on well enough to cover things up here. Five to 1, the shots in favor of the Selects. 7:58 remaining in this first period of action. Scott Cook, draw one. Schroeder with the shot, glove down by Freeze. We got another stoppage in play. We'll do it again. Scott Cook against Braun. Scott Cook able to win the draw again. It's back up to Normando. Normando to Carrier, but she has her pocket picked along the boards. Clausen now feeds this up to number 10 and Sophia Cox. Cox looking to go one-on-one with Carrier. Tried to make a move on her, but Carrier not fooled. Shut that down right away. So it ends up onto the stick of Normando to Schroeder. Schroeder can't get that much further. And just before the red line as the Hawks sent it back in. Darby, a bit of a physical play there. Laying the shoulder on Sasha Lambert. But not egregious enough for a penalty to be called. Seen a few body checking penalties called throughout the first few games of this showcase this weekend. Of course, we've done Central Plains and Interlake to start things off. Interlake won that match 2-1. And then we just got done broadcasting the Westman Wildcats and the Yellowhead Chiefs. Westman ended up running away with it. Got close for a while heading into the first intermission, but the Wildcats, led by Ivy Perkin, got like 6 points in that game. An incredible performance from her, helping lead the way for Westman to start off the weekend with some positive vibes, even though the record in total doesn't matter at the end. Nonetheless, Westman, after the season they had last year, must feel good to start off with this and to have a lot of optimism heading into this year. As for this game, though, these two teams, a lot of optimism, as mentioned near the start of this broadcast, heading into this year. Eastman looking to defend their league championship, as they didn't lose many players from last year's championship roster. And Pembina Valley, for them, excited to get out this season and prove to the league that they can compete with anyone. Some good returnees coming back. Lost some good talent, but hoping players from last year can step up. They were put into even bigger roles this year, more important roles, and for the rookies to just trust the process and get better and better as this season goes along for PV. As this sent all the way down into the Eastman zone again, it's Beavis. Hesitates before passing it off the boards. As it connected to Chloe Carrier. Her stretch pass out of the reach for Delaney Rigaud. As we will get an icing called here on the play. Face-off draw will be inside of the select zone. Draw to the blocker hand side of Isabelle Labossiere. Last year's MFHL goaltender of the year. Hasn't been tested much here early on. Ella Victor sends that down deep as it's bounced onto the stick of O'Brien. O'Brien sends it right back to Victor. Victor, her shot wide of the net again, but again possessed by Pembina Valley. Maybe a set play there to be able to complete that pass as it's Brass and Manis working down low. Brass loses a handle on that puck. Cut off by Chloe Carrier. Now it's worked up to Schroeder as Eastman tries to break it out, but Schroeder just past the blue line. Must be active, lively as she tripped on it. Other way now, Carrier, that shot turned aside by Freeze. As number 13, that's Kennedy Carrier. With a good chance there. But still, we remain scoreless. The last 5 minutes of this period now. Draw one by the Selects. That shot blocked at the point by Sophia Cox. A good chance early on. Maybe another one here. Cox, couldn't fend off the great defensive stick of Normando as she shut that down. Puck now down below in the Eastman end as Labossiere finds it, covers it up to give her team a bit of a breather. Sophia Cox getting active, blocking shots. Gritty play from the Hawks veteran and almost creates a goal going the other way, an offensive chance. Her squad ended up leading to an offensive zone face-off. But for Pembina Valley, got to find ways to stay in the Eastman zone more so far. Because Eastman, it's like deja vu right now. Not much time spent in their end last year. The best defensive team. Could make an argument in the country last year, even though they failed to get to the SO Cup game away in the West Regionals as Beavis works her way in. Challenged by Steves. That pass into the skates of Steves cut off. But now it's up to Ray. Summer Ray from the point. Tries to send that on net. Unable to. It gets to Beavis. She looks to make her way back to the blue line now. Ray in the cover. Can't get that on net as it's into the skates of a Hawk instead. Can't recover that puck as Eastman for now, but now they do as they make their way back in. Loose puck just outside the blue line. Picked up now by the Hawks. So it'll be number 14 who sends it in for Pembina Valley in Claire Boyd. Loose puck picked up by Eastman again. Sent off the boards. Cut off now by this Pembina Valley Hawks team, but the D-to-D pass fails as they retreated into their own end. We're forced to. Good pressure here from Eastman. It's ramping up as this game goes along. This period, that is that off the stick of Clausen. Pembina Valley right back in their own end as it's sent in the direction of Convery. On the forecheck, Delaney Rigaud. Convery quick enough to get it to a teammate, to get it to safety. A bit of a breakdown now along the boards as Pembina Valley makes their way towards the net. Hildebrand can't get that backhand to go as another great defensive play by Normando. She returns for another year with this Eastman Selects team. Bit of an unsung hero on that blue line at times. Doesn't always do anything flashy, but just really solid positionally. And she does have a bit of electricity to her game, too. We've seen that on display many times on our network before. So it's sent up now to Isabella Carrier. No one with her for the time being. Now there's Delaney Rigaud. Carrier goes to a teammate just entering the zone, and Blake Hawes. Hawes sends it across to Remillard. Remillard shot tipped off the post. It was Delaney Rigaud who found it, and now here's a chance the other way. The Hawks. Manis being pressured. Challenge. Great back check by Eastman. Given number 3 no room to breathe on the way down. Now Eastman goes the other way. It's a bit of a track meet starting here in Portage as Scott Cook delays at the hash marks. Has it taken away. A loose puck there. Schroeder, quick shot, can't get it through. As the body's in front too much from this Pembina Valley squad. A minute 20 remaining as it's picked up. Now drop back. That shot from Brass. Block it away by Labossiere. Maya Brass in to help out in the corner. So minute 10 on this first period clock. Brass can't feed that through. So went into some shin pads of some Eastman players, but puck maintaining its possession for the longest we've seen in a while in the Eastman zone. It gets sent out now at neutral ice as we're into the final minute of play for this first period of action for game number 3. Pierce, her shot turned aside into the breadbasket, aka The crest of the jersey, aka the logo of the jersey, that is donned by number 1 and Isabelle Labossiere. 41 and a half on the clock. Face-off won by Pembina Valley. Convery thought she might have been stripped of the puck there, but wasn't. Maintained possession, but now it's turned over into Eastman's possession. Chloe Carrier looking to go for a skate. Gets cut off. It's close sports. Pembina Valley sends it right back out after Carrier dumped it in. She does it again, sending this in deep. So it'll be picked up by Warnick. Off of a body of a Eastman player disrupts this as this ends up staying down low. Pembina Valley, first one on it. Number 14 and Claire Boyd as she sends this up into the neutral ice to safety for now. As we're going to go into the second period scoreless, but with the team understaffed on ice. So we're going to go to a 5-on-4 power play coming up here. I believe 2 minutes for boarding. A hit from behind just happened in the dying seconds of that period. So when we come back, I believe the Eastman Selects are going to be on the power play. Just kidding, it's going to be Pembina Valley, I believe, on the power play. We'll get that sorted out once we're back. This first period of action was brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. You should check them out today at 995 Miltsteagle Drive in Winnipeg, Manitoba, their only store location, or visit their website at cancentralsportscards.com for more details. We'll be back soon after these messages for period 2 here in game number 3 of the 2025 Central Plains Capitals Showcase. Live from Stride Place between the Eastman Selects and the Pembina Valley Hawks.
Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, the Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store.
Welcome back, female hockey league fans, or I should say female hockey fans. I meant to say Manitoba female hockey league fans, into an all MFHL matchup. After the first intermission, we're scoreless. After the first 20 minutes of play, we're scoreless at that. First period of action was brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, our main first period sponsor. Sure to check their only store location out in Winnipeg, Manitoba at 995 Miltz-Eagle Drive today. They're Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. You can also check out their website at cancentralsportscards.com. As for this game, the third game on the schedule for this showcase out of 22, scoreless after the first 20 minutes. As shots were 7-5 in favor of the Eastman Selects. Saw a lot of things we're accustomed to seeing from Eastman for the most part in that period. Didn't spend too much time in their own end. Started to get their forecheck going a bit, which is one of their biggest strengths as a team, and had some good looks that they just couldn't capitalize on. Impressed with how Pembina Valley played during that period. Thought that Pembina Valley had a hard working period. Thought that, they looked better as that period went along. It's a team that they're going to continue to skate too. They're going to continue to come at you. And for this Pembina Valley Hawks team, prime example of seeing that in a positive effect was, I believe it was Claire Boyd who ended up drawing the penalty. One of their players ended up drawing a penalty as she keeps skating and gets tripped down, as Eastman is the only way they were able to stop her in that instance. So, with that being said, the Eastman Selects are going to start off down a girl. Sorry, that was a penalty before. There were two penalties that ended up happening in total. The most recent penalty that ended up happening right as the buzzer was about to sound was, I believe, a boarding penalty, a bit of a cross-check from behind there from an Eastman player. So, we're going to get Pembina Valley on the power play to start things off, their second power play of this afternoon. And if I'm Matt Victor, I'm telling my group, just continue to skate, continue to play your game, and we will be rewarded. Good things will happen. Of course, you may have to pivot and change some things up if Eastman ups the ante in their game, ups their level a bit. What a year it was in 2024, 2025 for the Eastman Selects, as we got some time before both teams come out onto the ice. For those that may not be aware, tuning into this game, I'm sure you are, since you're either an Eastman Selects fan, a Pembina Valley Hawks fan, mainly tuning into this matchup, and you were aware how last season went if your kid played on the 2024-2025 rosters out of one of these teams in the MFHL last year. And yeah, Eastman, they were actually a game away from almost having a perfect postseason run, which would have been the third time in a row that has happened, as the Winnipeg Ice ended up going back-to-back, winning back-to-back championships. Prior to Eastman winning last year, and through that, Winnipeg didn't end up dropping a single game, going 18-0, combining those two runs. So Eastman was trying to do something similar in that first run, but yeah, they ended up going to a 5-game series with the Winnipeg Avros, where it ended up being the Eastman Selects winning in double overtime. The overtime hero, a former Selects player now in Sophia Heidinger, able to put home the golden goal for Eastman to punch their ticket to Saskatoon in the West Regionals. And as for this year in the MFHL, since they are a part of Hockey Canada, they do compete in the U18 National Championships at the end of the year, the ESO Cup. The MFHL winner is going to be playing in a qualifier against the winner of the Saskatchewan League in the winner's home here in Manitoba. So could it be back in Niverville? Could it be maybe in Morden? Who's to say? But I know for this Eastman Selects team, they're primed and I think ready to go to defend their title. They've looked not bad to start off this game. Expecting maybe a bit more flash here moving forward as they continue to get more and more comfortable with each other in this tune-up. Showcase is a scary bounce off the boards to start things off. This second period brought to you by Elite Prospects and Movement Fitness and Performance. As I guess it's Eastman on the power play, actually. So I see the scoreboard showing the penalty. Power play time is on the team side of the scoreboard. That actually is shorthanded. So my apologies. Eastman on the power play, not Pembina Valley, as this ends up out of play and into the benches. So, scratch what I said before. We've had a chance to look at one Pembina Valley power play, and now we got a chance to take a look at Eastman's power play, which, if I'm not mistaken, led the league in power play goals last season and was a huge factor at points in their playoff run. As along the boards down low now, it's Delaney Rigaud who will drop this back to number 8 and Isabella Carrier. As D to Beavis. Calling for it as a teammate. Thought that was Grenier, but she located Delaney Rigaud instead. Just missed her stick back door as this ends up all the way down into the select zone. Labossiere leaves this for Chloe Carrier. As the selects getting some fresh legs onto the ice. For a group, that is. But this turned over onto the stick of Bree Pierce. Pierce sends this cross ice. Number 22 in brass. As Maya Brass working down low. She's met by Scott Cook and Reese Beavis. As this in possession of the Eastman Selects, it's work towards the boards to Chloe Carey as that stretch pass cross ice off the mark, but Eastman gets it back anyways. 11 seconds remaining on this power play. Eastman maybe with one more opportunity to get a shot on net. They'll hold the puck at the point for now. Hawes drops it off to Normando. To Hawes. Schroeder, that through her skates. Back to even strength as a huge kill for this Pembina Valley Hawks side. It gets it done as fresh out of the penalty box, number 14 and Claire Boyd beats the select to that puck. It ends up to the point to Steves, but that shot unable to get through. It's Normando who blocks it up. Has her pocket picked by Steves, however, as she tried to skate it out. This stays below the Eastman goal line for now. Tried to send it out, but couldn't get it past that blue line. Schroeder working hard to stay on this puck, can't catch up to it as a Pembina Valley Hawk cuts her off just near the Hawks blue line. D to Darby. Darby sends this up the middle, all the way down. Will it be for an icing? No, waved off as both players get there fast enough to negate it. Rondo along with Clausen out there as forwards for this Pembina Valley Hawks team. Darby, Victor, and O'Brien being the last forward there. She's at the point currently as O'Brien puts on the moves at the blue line. Inside, outside, O'Brien! Oh, a glove save made by Labossiere. She just fights it off enough to keep it a scoreless tie right now. 16:45 remaining on the second period clock. Summer Rae, nice work along the boards, gets this free to Carrier. Amelia, that is, couldn't connect that pass to the slot. She stays on Darby with the forecheck pressure. Is Darby able to get that to safety? As this puck just kept in at, or no, not kept in at the blue line. It was deemed to be the line, was not held. Just trickled past the stick of Carrier. This face-off will be just outside of the Pembina Valley Hawks zone. Won by the Hawks. Play D up to Pierce, but off the mark as that Mr. Stick. As this remains in the neutral zone. Delaney Rigaud just before the blue line sends this in deep. Convery cut it off before it got to the net. As Pembina Valley controls, but pass off the mark all the way down, and this will be for an icing. Turning to the Pembina Valley Hawks. Notable returnees on this year's team. Number 2, Cassie O'Brien, Skyla Hildebrand, Chase Braun, Leah Clausen, Sophia Cox, Delaney Darby, McKenna Steves, Ella Victor, and Madison Fries. All players that are looking to take even bigger roles this year. Speaking of, Chase Braun, her shot just off the mark, defended well on the rush there by the Eastman Selects. This all the way down, and it will be for an icing. So same result, just opposite team. As for Pembina Valley, they'll get an offensive zone face-off draw for themselves coming up. It'll be Claire Boyd to take the draw for the Hawks. Lost that to Maya Grenier. As this pass up the boards. Cut off, sent down low. First one on it, number 9 in Maya Grenier. Nice maneuverability down low. Rimmed it around, but unfortunately couldn't connect with the teammate. Grenier's back on it as she looks to go for a skate. Grenier, just before the blue line, sends this in deep off the backboards, and off the back of the net that goes. Settled down well enough for Pembina Valley to get possession. Here's another penalty coming up as Pembina Valley a bit too physical here in this period. Or in the last, I guess, 6 minutes or so, as another penalty along the boards involving body contact. And that'll send the Eastman Selects back to the power play. This time it's an interference penalty. So we get to take a look at Eastman going to work on the power play again. Shan Scott Cook to take the draw. Such a good face-off taker, and she proves it there with yet another win for number 15. DDD this goes to Beavis. Settles this down up to the point to Haas. Tip, nice reaction by Freeze. Still loose in front. Both teams searching out at Eastman to potentially score. They do! It's Kennedy Carrier who puts it home. Number 13 for the Eastman Selects to give them a 1-0 lead here. 14:45 remaining in the second period. If you tuned in to watch this Eastman team last year, well, that's a familiar sight. A team that's so good in front of the net, ferocious, relentless, and right there, that relentless effort paying off big time for Kennedy Carey as she whacks away at that loose puck. Freeze had a chance to stop it, but couldn't cover things up before things just got out of control in front of her. 1-0, the defending MFHL champs lead here on the opening day of the Central Plains Capital Showcase in Game 3. Goal brought to you by Elite Prospects, the most informative hockey player database on the web today. Sure to check out their website at eliteprospects.com. Amelia Carrier goes D to D. It's sent right back by Chloe Carrier, who takes a bit of a check there from Cassie O'Brien, letting her know that she's coming in this game. Not going to give up. Marquee player for the Hawks went off for a change. Into the other end, Chloe Carrier shot, this time into the padding of Madison Freeze. So we'll get a face-off inside the Hawks zone coming up here. 11th shot of the afternoon for this Eastman team. As the face-off draw will be won by the Selects. Shot on net. I believe that might have been off the stick of number 22, Summer Ray. It's D2D. Pembina Valley plays this. A bit of a mishap on the pass, but got to Hildebrand anyways. It trickled to her. She sent it out. Hildebrand strong on the forecheck, but Beavis even stronger on her stick, holding her ground as Beavis looks to go for a skate. Turned over just inside the Eastman blue line. Ray and Boyd battling with each other there. As the puck gets sent in deep into the Pembina Valley Hawks zone once again. Off the boards, this gets sent out. Almost too many girls on the play. But the ref's not catching, penalizing Eastman for that. Usually when those too many men penalties happen, and there's some congestion there around the boards at the benches. Braun sends this in off the stick of an Eastman Select player. That was Beavis. Beavis gets this right back. A nice D2D pass from Hawes. Sent it up now to number 19 and Lambert. As Lambert, a rookie on this year's team. Good effort, but couldn't get that puck back off of Darby. As this flipped up into the air for a split second. Now into the Hawk zone as they go D2D quickly as it's played up to Clausen. Clausen cut off at the boards there by Hawes. Grenier picks up loose puck, goes D2D off the boards to Normando as this trickles up to the point. That shot through some traffic. Labossiere able to make the save as Darby sends this down low into Clausen's direction. Pembina Valley trying to get something going, trying to rebound and respawn after giving up the opening goal of this contest about 4 minutes ago at this point. As this stretched up, Pembina Valley looking to work quick. Cox into the slot. That pass fanned on the one-timer by Manis. As Cox back on it, great support from number 10. Gets ridden out along the boards as Eastman makes their way up. Going down the other way. Back into the Hawks end of the ice. Below the goal line. Grenier tied up, but Kennedy Carrier, the goal scorer in this game for Eastman, there gets it to the point to, I believe that was number 20 who has that block, Sophie Remillard. She gets that across to Carrier. Chloe Carrier off the boards all the way down. Will this be an icing? Have to believe so. Yes, it is. But a close one. Felt like Delaney Rigaud actually almost beat that out. So we'll get a face-off draw back inside the Eastman zone. Draw just won by the Selects. It's along the boards. Remillard ridden out there. I believe Rondeau up to the point. Steves her shot unable to get through. Instead off of the skate of Delaney Rigaud and into the Selects corner. Rigaud, that pass. Can't get it to go, but now it ends up to Scott Cook. Shan Scott Cook. Her teammates hold the line as she makes her way in. Scott Cook behind the back pass. Oh, to Carrier. Remillard, sorry, as Remillard has that gloved up on that shot. A nice flash of the leather from Madison Freeze. But what a ridiculous pass from Shan Scott Cook. Maybe yes off the mark from her initial teammate, as I believe she was trying to go to Rigaud. It ended up onto a stick of another teammate. But that's the thing with Eastman too. Their offensive attack, there's so many levels to it, so many strong levels that they can beat you in any one of those layers. As both teams battle along the board, Steves D2D quickly as that shot wide of the net. It's Pembina Valley down low, trying to feed it to the slot, but cut off well by Delaney Rigaud. Delaney Rigaud unable to chase it down. Sophie Remillard, D, she goes. As it's played up, Delaney Rigaud, nifty at the line, but not much more space to work with. Just decides to send it down low to Amelie Carrier. Carrier tries to make her way towards the net. Unable to as she was cut off. Blake Hawes back to Carrier. What a move there from 21. Carrier can't quite get the shot through, though. So it looked like maybe she held up, hesitated just a bit before letting it go. So what a move there. Oh, but a nice and even better save by Freeze. To cover things up. With 9:15 remaining. By the way, if you are watching this live, we have a live chat going. Let us know where you're watching this matchup from. We appreciate your support for everyone tuning in this week. Or weekend, as I should say. Is now Pembina Valley with the chance. It's Manis tracks down this puck. Oh, what a rip from number 3. Evens this up at 1 apiece. Holy moly. An absolute rocket straight to the rooftop of the Eastman Selects net. Labossiere thought she had it covered, but it just looks like a perfect shot from Manis in real time. Brought to you by Movement, Fitness, and Performance. Going 5 years strong at 1111 Winnipeg Avenue, building number 3, an independent Winnipeg gym. Sure to consider that as your next gym to go to if you are a Winnipeg resident. But what a shot there from number 3 and Peyton Manis. She beats Labossiere cleanly in and out that goal. That's how do the Selects respond now? It's all the way back down the Selects end. Good pressure from Rondo, but the Selects able to beat it as they break out cleanly. Kennedy Carrier sends this in deep as she goes off for a change. Off the backboards into the glove. A freeze that went. .805 remaining here in the second frame. Eastman has almost doubled Pembina Valley in shots, but it doesn't matter. Not at all. We're tied up at 1 apiece recently off of a Peyton Manis snipe. Delaney Rigaud to take the draw. Almost wins it cleanly back, but nice job by Pembina Valley to cut that off in the face-off circle. Amelie Carrier gets taken down behind the net. Net off its bearings as Carrier ran into it. But no call coming from the referee. No penalty on the play. Just thought maybe that could have been considered a trip. Face-off draw to the glove hand side, the left of Madison Freeze. Won by your Pembina Valley Hawks as the Hawks try to control this in their own end before getting it out, which they do just that. Sophie Remillard cut it off in the neutral ice there. Amelie Carrier trying to get a handle on it, but unable to. Carrier gets it back just before the blue line, sends this in. Freeze, a bit of trouble with it. Rebound not handled that cleanly. It allows for Delaney Rigaud to get possession of it. Tries to reverse this. Down low, unable to. That pass threads the needle through his stick to Pierce. Pierce cut off right away. Good back check by Isabella Carrier as Eastman looks to work in now. Grenier surveying her options as Maya has this puck on a string right now. Sends this down low to Delaney Rigaud. Rigaud circles up. Backhand, a nifty backhand towards the net as that covered up by Freeze. Bit of a deceptive shot there from number 18, Delaney Rigaud. And hey, it may be an old school mindset, but for Eastman, it's something they live by every once in a while. So often is just throw as many pucks in that as possible. And good things can happen. You continue to work at it. I mean, Eastman's first goal wasn't pretty at all. It's the way this team plays. Hard working mixed with some skill, that grit, all that good stuff. You want in a championship caliber team. Up the boards to Carrier, that tipped high of the net. As Chloe's shot hit a stick on the way through. That pass, oh, what a feed, Chloe Carrier! Oh, denied by Freeze. Eastman working their magic a bit now as they get more comfortable in the offensive zone. In Pembina Valley's end, Sasha Lambert going to work, the rookie. It's picked up by Schrader. Schrader to the slot, but that pass unable to be handled cleanly by Grenier. Pembina Valley gets it out. Manis was disrupted trying to get a handle on that puck. No interference or any call at all called on the play still. As it's Scott Cook trying to make some magic happen. Scott Cook, all she can do is send this down low as that gets put up the boards. It's Cassie O'Brien unable to connect with the teammate on that pass, but hard enough. The point where Beavis couldn't hold the line. Cassie O'Brien makes her way down the right side now. That pass to the slot. Unable to connect with Clausen. Clausen continues to battle that left face-off circle. Pembina Valley gets it back. Hildebrand walking in now. Hildebrand unable to put that through towards where the net is, as Eastman able to send this all the way down deep. Back into the select zone, surveying options. This ends up being picked off by Boyd. Hit her stick anyways. So it allows for Pembina Valley to get possession back and send it in deep. Sophie Remillard bumped there along the boards by Clausen. This remains down low as Remillard continues to be pressured. He gets it to safety to Normando. Normando had to think quick. Hawk was coming right at her. Is this into the select slot? And out now is Delaney Rigaud back onto the ice, trying to send this in deep just before the blue line, but cut off. As for the Pembina Valley Hawks. Remains in their zone. Tied the game recently off of a beauty. The stick of number 3 in Peyton Manis. It's Amelie Carrier down low, trying to work her magic wraparound. Couldn't get that to go. She just feeds it to the point. Beavis, her shot. Met bodies in front. Ends up into the glove of Freeze anyways. But number 1's just going to take some time to cover things up and halt the play with 4:02 remaining. 17-9. The shot's in favor of Eastman. But the score remains the same, 1-1. Trying to get this lead back late in this period. Pembina Valley, they've left the score a second unanswered. As Cox got this up to O'Brien. O'Brien couldn't do much with it afterwards. It's sent down low into the Eastman end. And Beavis first one on it. Up the boards. Finds a teammate. I believe Isabel Carrier. As this to the slow. Manis just misses the net that time. Tried to test the glove of Labossiere instead of going high stick side. As Sasha Lambert gets this out, but cutting it off right away was O'Brien. Pass quickly off of the tape and into the Eastman zone of Manis. So along the boards, Darby jumps up into the zone, sends this in deep. Puck picked up by Grenier as Grenier skates up with it a bit down the left side. As Grenier just passed the red line, we'll dump this in deep into the direction of Lambert. Nice job to fend off a few Hawks players. Schroeder in there for support. Now it's Scott Cook who's out there. Changing on the ice for Grenier. Played it to Lambert at the side of the net, who's denied by Freeze. So another face-off draw will be inside the Pembina Valley Hawks zone coming up. Scott Cook, believe against O'Brien. No, that's Chase Braun. Scott Cook won it to the net, but right into the logo. The jersey worn by Madison Freeze. And just looked at the Pembina Valley coaching staff. Their coach is hollering something over their players right now as they get set to defend Eastman once again. So far, so good as you're able to get this all the way out. Will this be an icing? No, Labossiere comes out to play it, touches it with her stick, leaves it for Chloe Carrier. As Pierce, Convery, along with Clausen, Braun, and another player for the Hawks out. I believe that was Warnick as that shot turned aside by Freeze. As both teams battle along boards, Eastman in the dying minutes of this period looking to get back on top, go into that second intermission with a 1-goal lead. Is taking a spill at the line there, losing an edge. Sophie Remillard. This down low along the boards and taken out by Eastman. It's Delaney Rigaud, reverses this down low to try to keep this cycle going, try to get some cycle going at least. As working hard, out in front, Delaney Rigaud got a handle on it, but couldn't get enough to get it on net. Scott Cook now to Rigaud, but through her skates, the pass a bit off. It's Eastman looking for better execution here, no doubt about it. Maybe coming up in the third we'll see it, or maybe even in these last minute and 15 seconds of this period. As for Pembina Valley, able to work it back in. Late period chance. Clausen shot turned aside by Labossiere. Bats it with her glove towards the net. It's on the side of it. We'll see if the ref blows this dead. Yes, in fact, they do. Just under a minute to play here in the second period of action. We'll have the third period coming up next. 2 more games for us to broadcast as well on this Friday. Caps and Buffaloes coming up next, and then later on it's the Avros and Northern Bears, the Prince Albert Northern Bears and the Winnipeg Avros, ending off our day 1 coverage with what should be an entertaining matchup. All these games have been pretty entertaining so far here today. To kick off the showcase right. Party in Portage this weekend, no doubt about it. It's great to see all of these female hockey teams. Well, once again, haven't seen them since about February or March last year, near the end of the regular season, and of course broadcasting this league's playoffs. But yeah, just getting to see hockey back. It's always a great time of the year. I know NHL will be starting up soon too, and just every league in the world. So yeah, we're gonna be off and running soon. We're off and running this weekend with a bang to start off. So it's 1-1 between the defending champion Eastman Selects of the MFHL and a quarterfinalist from last year in the Pembina Valley Hawks. Cassie O'Brien trying to work some magic late here, but Blake Haas says denied, shuts her down with 6 seconds now. Darby tries to send this towards the net, does just that. Labossiere handles it pretty easily, and with that, we go into the second intermission after 40 minutes of play, just like we started this game off, but except with some goals added in there. It was 0-0 after the first. It's 1-1 after the second. Both teams will be at even strength to start off this time. 19-11 the shots in favor of the Selects. This period was brought to you by Elite Prospects. Of course, hockey's most informative hockey player database on the web. Sure to check out their website for more at eliteprospects.com. And also to Movement Fitness and Performance. an independent, local Winnipeg gym going 5 years strong on 1111 Winnipeg Avenue, building number 3. If you live in Winnipeg, be sure to check them out. Give them a try today, as well as visiting their website at movementfp.ca. Third period of Selects Hawks coming up next here from the 2025 Central Plains Capital Showcase, live on gshowproductions.uscreen.io. And welcome back into Portage La Prairie, female hockey fans, as, we got a 1-1 game heading into the third and final period of Game 3 of the Portage La Prairie 2025 Central Plains Capital Showcase on gshowproductions.uscreen.io. And as we take a look at our schedule here, as we're nearing closer and closer to Central Plains playing in their second day of the game, taking on the Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy Buffaloes. Saw Pilot Mountain's team warming up in the concourse, so they're in the rink. Central Plains, they've already played today, dropped their first game of the day against the Interlake Lightning. They're up 1-0 in that one. Looking for a bounce back coming up against Pilot Mountain, 5:15. Anthony Bailey will have the call for that one. By the way, shout out to him for holding things down really well between the Westman Wildcats and the Yellowhead Chiefs, which is the Ivy Perkins show in that one. I was able to watch that game, of course. I was working in a producer role for that one, and Westman's got to be really excited about her this year, and just the squad they have. They looked really strong to start off their showcase. But as for this game, Pembina Valley is competing really well. Eastman doesn't look quite like their usual selves, but that's to be expected at the same time, since this is a showcase, preseason hockey. First game of the weekend, too. Eastman going to get going more tomorrow as well as all the rest of the teams. But for Pembina Valley, doing a really good job of not making things easy for this Eastman Selects team. They're on pucks hard, and then it works the same the other way. Like Pembina Valley, they're working for their chances. Eastman hasn't given them many easy looks. And hey, for Pembina Valley, there's some players that have stepped up really big time. For example, like Peyton Manis, number 3. A beautiful shot to tie things up at 1 apiece in that second period. Of course, the first period of this game was scoreless. Both goals happened in those last 20 minutes in the second. But yeah, what a rip from her. Sophia Cox, she's been a player that stood out to me too, doing a really good job of blocking shots at the point, creating offense, heading the other way. Madison Freeze, I think, is looked really comfortable in net too. And for Pembina Valley, talk about the wins and the losses, and they really don't matter at the end of the day, but if you're able to go out and beat the Eastman Selects, before the season starts, what a vibe you'd be starting off with for this weekend. And in speaking with head coach Matt Victor on the MFHL podcast, he said he loves the fact that he's gotten a team like Eastman this skilled to line up against his team early on in this season. They've played each other too before, heading into this showcase. Should have mentioned this during the first period, but the last time these two teams actually met up was last Sunday, where Eastman ended up winning 5-0. So a really great bounce back performance from Pembina Valley from last Sunday to this Friday, 5 days removed from that. And yeah, doing a lot of things right this afternoon, as this upcoming period will be brought to you by Terrico. Terrico.ca is their website, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. Sure to check out why at Terrico.ca. As both teams at center ice now. A starting 5 for Pembina Valley, starting 5 for Eastman. For this third period, we are off as Pembina Valley controls off the draw. Nice moves by Brass as she loses that puck, had it knocked away. That shot through a bit of traffic, saved by Labossiere. Got an early stoppage here. I think the only things Pembina Valley would like better in this game is a few more shots. And of course, a lead on the scoreboard, as they're pressuring the search for that early third period lead. In the first 25 seconds with possession in the Eastman zone, Eastman able to bank it off the boards and out, off the stick of Delaney Rigaud, as this gets sent all the way in. And Eastman Just occurred to me that I haven't seen Vader go today. So Veda not in the lineup. Not sure why. Might have an update for you on that throughout this weekend. As this just cleared by the Eastman selects. As DDD, picked the pocket. That's Delaney Rigaud as Rigaud tried to get to it, but a nice effort by number 18 in Ella Victor to cut that off. Victor, veteran presence on the blue line for this Pembina Valley Hawks squad, making it felt here in this third. As this stretch pass all the way down for an icing. But Rigaud, so dangerous with that stick of hers. We saw her with a tip that looked really dangerous in front of the Pembina Valley net back in the first period. And once again, using it on the forecheck, creating a turnover, a giveaway for the Pembina Valley Hawks. But great recovery in the end from PV. As Ella Victor down low, battling with Kennedy Carrier. Grenier drops this back, but out of the reach for her teammate. As Cox gets possession of it. Clausen has to be careful there as she goes off for a change, almost stays on to not allow any too many men penalties to occur. Walking out in front as Eastman. Grenier gets a loose puck somehow and Freeze ends up surviving and covers it up. Apologies about the weird sound you just heard through the mic. Face-off draw won by the Selects. That's Maya Grenier so close recently to giving her team the 1-goal lead back. It's this onto the stick of Riley Harms. Harms can't quite get it out, though. Right back in. It's McKenna Steeves have possession of it. Steeves off the boards. Has this cut off by Sophie Remillard. As Remillard tried to get a handle on it again. Couldn't. This tipped in. Rondo to Sophie Remillard. She skates it behind her net and around. Passes cross ice. Is that off the mark for Sasha Lambert as Lambert gives chase, pressuring number 11 Convery very well. That ends up forcing a turnover as Eastman gets it back. Schroeder from the high slot. Save made by Freeze. This time no rebound given up. For Madison Freeze, her 22nd save of the game, 23rd shot faced. I'd say the only weakness in Freeze's game here has been maybe not handling some shots the best. Something she's looking to shore up as the season goes along, but really good reactionary saves from her this afternoon and fighting in her crease to keep her team tied at 1 apiece. With the class of the MFHL last year in the Eastman Selects, that and icing with 16:55 on the clock. And shout out to Ken Beavis. Apparently someone's having problems right now streaming to their TV. Ken, message us on our social media or send us an email, and I will try to get that problem sorted out with you as this game goes along. Or at the end of the game, since we gotta finish this stream off. 1-1 is the score between the Eastman Selects and the Pembina Valley Hawks. It's controlled at the line. Shot in, Carrier, ended up deflecting into the corner as that met some Pembina Valley Hawk sticks. Stretch up. And off the mark for number 10 and Sophia Cox. This goes all the way down for an icing. This face-off draw, won by the Selects, battling there for a moment where a Hawk and a Select, but this able to get out back into the neutral zone is Isabella Carrier. Tried to send that in deep. Instead had her pocket pick. This hard to handle for Darby as it ended up into her shin pads. Carrier giving Jason in on the forecheck. Her and Grenier in the vicinity. As for Cassie O'Brien, she gets tangled up along wards now by Carrier and Grenier in there to help two for Eastman. Beavis sends this down low. As puck will be rimmed around now, cut off by Reese Beavis. She keeps this down low. And Caitlin Schroeder joins in on the attack. Schroeder picks up this loose puck, tries sending that to the slot, but meets the skate of a Hawk defender instead. Ends up into the glove of Freeze. So we'll get a stoppage, 14:41 remaining. Straw will be won. But not held in by Eastman. Carrier now looks to skate this in. Another year for number 10 on this Eastman Select squad. It's part of last year's championship decor. Sasha Lambert trying to fire that on net, but unable to unload. So it's defended well by Pembina Valley. This sends up all the way back down into the Hawks' end. Hawks work it out now. This goes D to D. Chloe Carrier. Carrier sends this cross ice to Lambert. Lambert, nice move to the middle. Lambert almost gets it back, but it's off the side of her skate. Two Hawks run into each other now in Clausen and number 12 in Pierce. As Pierce one hands this up to Clausen. Clausen can't maintain possession of the puck. Now it's the Selects going the other way. Scott Cook, talked about her already today as she delays down low. Passes that back to Delaney Rigo, and Scott Cook gets it back. Surveying options, tries to get that on net, blocked on the way through. Hawes can't get that shot through as well. So it ends up hitting some sticks on the way through to its target. Occupied by Freeze. Convery. Select going at it down low as this puck loose, but unable to get out. Beavis sends this cross rink, but unable to maintain possession. It's Pembina Valley. Beavis to Rigaud, back to Beavis. Beavis a shot off the stick of Rigaud as she got a deflection on it, but Freeze locked in and positions herself well enough to make that save. As both teams getting some fresh legs out there. O'Brien to take the draw against Carrier. Lost it to Carrier. That shot from the point from Chloe Carrier. Ends up going wide. This first one on it. Sophie Remmeler has her pocket pick. Pembina Valley looking to attack Manis, the intended target, on that pass to the slot from Sophia Cox. Too many Selects in the way, though. The Selects make their way back up, cut into the middle. Chloe Carrier as she activates in. Can't get that shot through on net, though. Short pass out in front. Loose puck still there. Grenier trying to whack away at it. Same with her teammate, Kennedy Carrier. Only goal scorer in this game for Eastman. as gives a shot back to a Hawk. On her way back to the bench. In fact, not back to the bench actually yet, as Carrier is still out there. With 12:03 remaining in this contest. Draw won by the Selects. Beavis shovels this to the net with a backhand. Turned aside by Freeze. Do we end up seeing one of these teams come away with a win, or do we see our first tie of the showcase? 11:57 remains for us to have all those questions answered. Blake Hawes from the point, shot wide of the net. His teammate couldn't catch up to it in front, and Lambert sent in to the select zone now by the Hawks. First one on it. Been chased back. Blake Hawes has a Beavis in there to help. Nice job by Hawes to maneuver her way past a Hawks player and get that pass up to Schroeder. As Schroeder gets rubbed out along the boards by Harms. As Riley Harms goes to battle there. So does Schrader. And Schroeder ends up actually getting out of it. Sends this down low. Schroeder tried to stay with it along the boards, but this just gets flipped out instead. Chloe Carrier. There's D2D with Remillard. Finds Schroeder again. Number 3 in Schroeder tries to send that in deep, but unable to. It's all the way down into the select zone. The Hawks content with keeping them there. 10:45 remaining. As along the boards, that'll be Clausen. Clausen has that sticked away by Hawks player in Ray. An offensive position, but she is in fact a forward. Brass can't let that go. She had her pocket picked before she was able to unload that. Towards the net occupied by Labossiere. Clausen tries to shoot through a screen, but has this blocked up by Chloe Carrier. Carrier looks to go for a skate now, is on her forehand. She sends this in deep, rimmed all the way around to number 18, Delaney Rigo, as Rigo kicks that up to Beavis into the skates. That shot went from Beavis into Rigo's. As this ends up all the way back down to the select zone now. That pass off the stick of Rigo gets pressure. Turnover forced. That shot wide of the net. Labossiere not challenged there. At the point, Ella Victor unloads a low shot. Save made by Labossiere and covers this up. 9:31 remaining in this first period of this third period of action. The first period was long ago now. It's going to be Cassie O'Brien facing off against Selects center Maya Grenier. One by O'Brien, up to Victor. Victor sends that to the boards, where it gets to Manis. Back up to Victor, across to Darby. Spinorama from Darby, 15, showcasing her skating ability. That shot from Victor, unable to get through the screen cleanly to the net, scores! Rebound picked up in front. It's Pembina Valley who puts themselves on top. Talked about her already plenty times this afternoon, and she finally gets rewarded with a goal. And that's Sophia Cox, number 10. Brought to you by Terrico. It's Pembina Valley who, in many ways, have stunned Eastman so far. The pressure, it's been great to see. It's how you have to play if you want to beat this Eastman Selects team at any time of the year. It's a hard forecheck. And that forecheck doing enough great work. The pressure in front leading to the go-ahead goal for this Pembina Valley Hawks squad. How do the Selects respond? As we have 8:40 remaining on the clock. As Caitlin Schroeder gives chase. Negates the icing with that effort, number 3. Pinned up along the boards by Rondeau. Somehow Schroeder gets possession of this and sends a pass into the slot. Held in at the point now, Beavis. Her shot, low, rebound, smothered there by Freeze on the second attempt. It's crashing and banging happening in front of the Hawk zone, or the net in the Hawk zone. As for Madison Freeze. To wipe the sweat off her face for a sec. She's been working hard in this game this afternoon. 31 shots faced, 30 saves on those 31 chances that have been on net. But Eastman won't be going down without a fight. Out in front, whacking away at it again off the pass of Scott Cook. I believe number 18 in Delaney Rigaud right there. Gives Scott Cook a tap on the shin pads as well. Appreciating that pass from number 15. Scott Cook, Rigaud, and Amelie Carrier out there for the Selects. Braun, Hildebrand, and Clausen out as forwards for Pembina Valley as this ends up all the way down into the Select zone. No icing call on the play, so they end up waving it off. Just under 8 to go here in the third. Amelie Carrier, she lets go for a skate. This Carrier down the left side, tries to use Convery as a screen, but unable to get it through. Convery got enough of it to block it, to get it to safety. Freeze gets this to safety for now as she covers things up. Pembina Valley looks to hold on here for the next 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Don't want to see them sit back, to be honest with you. Want to see them keep attacking, but also be smart. Don't take any unnecessary risks and leave too much open ice in your own end for the Selects to expose. Nice defensive stand there by the Pembina Valley Hawks as O'Brien down the right side tries to drag it through her legs, but shut down right away by Reese Beavis. Read her like a book. There's a lookout. Hawks staff take cover. Puck ends up into their bench. So we'll have a face-off just outside the Hawk zone, won by the Selects. Beavis. No look D-to-D pass as this tries to go across ice up to Schroeder. Schroeder catches up to it in the end, but can't get clean possession of it for Eastman. As now for Pembina Valley, that pass towards the front of the net from Pierce. Not going to be able to go. It was cut off well by the Selects. It'll get on it. Summer Ray, but an offside coming on the play. A delayed offside, that is. Which ends up just putting this face-off outside of the Pembina Valley Hawk zone. No one of Pembina Valley's assistant coaches is calling for that to be sent all the way down, which I mean is fair given the context. Chloe Carrier, bad shot, cut off well by Freeze, read the angle perfectly. Scott Cook spins, tries to fire this pass towards the net. Now she does get a backhand towards the net, searching for it, but unable to whack away at it fast enough was Amelie Carrier. This time her shot wide of the net, searching top right corner. But a bit too fine on it, ended up missing. Tic-tac-toe to the slot, but that pass can't connect for this Eastman team as they try to sustain some pressure here on the cycle. Although they're kept on the outside for now. Chloe Carrier, her shot patted away by Freeze. Rebound there, another save made by Freeze. Loose puck still in front. Freeze trying to find it. Where is it? In between skates. One whack, two whack, three whacks. No. As more chaos ensues in front of the net, Freeze just wouldn't accept it. She didn't want that puck going in the back of the net. Makes not one, not two, but three saves in tight. Still having trouble trying to find it and cover up with that glove. But hey, if you're able to survive like that and respond like that, as long as that puck stays out of the net, I think Pembina Valley takes that all day long. This number one's been a fighter tonight, or as I should say, in this late afternoon game. It's also one thing I never understood. It's like an afternoon game. Announcers usually say good evening sometimes, and maybe I'm just thinking about NHLEA sports games and stuff like that, but this is an afternoon game. That backhand shot just ends up wide of the net. In front was Maya Grenier. I should say at the side of the net as that goes out. The netting over top of the end glass. But yeah, sweet facility we've been able to broadcast in. The home of the Portage Terriers this weekend. Nice that there's no mesh where our camera has to go through, giving you a clear broadcast picture this weekend so far. As this held in at the point by Blake Hawes. Therese Beavis tries going back to Hawes, but that off the mark. Power play, by the way, right now for the Eastman Selects. Let's see if they can capitalize on it. Hawes, her shot, caught a piece of Freeze. That ended up going into the end boards. Hawes back with it to Isabella Carrier. Her shot wide of the net as Beavis gets control of it to Hawes. Back to Beavis. Beavis tries sending that to the slot off the stick. That pass goes of Grenier. Hawes threads that through to Beavis. To Carrier. Unloads. Maybe waited too long as she tried to settle it down. Freeze was ready for it and makes the save. Sends up all the way back down into the Eastman zone. Maya Grenier down the left side, trying to maneuver her way through. Couldn't slither past, however. So with 30 seconds remaining, Eastman looking to generate something from their own end and beyond here as they look to transition up. Sophie Remillard, a cut off along the boards. That not able to be held in by Eastman. So we get an offside call on the play. 15 seconds remain. In the Selects power play, brought to you by Terrico. Good puck movement, but overall, just haven't found a way, aside from the lone goal that Kennedy Carrier scored, to walk away successfully in front. Freeze been battles to fight that off once again. She smothers this puck up. By the way, next game coming up, 5:15 p.m. is supposed to be the puck drop for Central Plains and Pilot Mountain. Only on here, gshowproductions.uscreen.io. To the point, that shot unable to find the back of the net instead. Found the glove of Freeze as Eastman. Side of the net, Schroeder trying to bank it in. Jam it in off that side, but Freeze a bit too strong. Getting to her post fast enough to shut that down. So this ends up to Amelie Carey. Look out, a bit too fancy at the blue line. Ended up having her pocket picked by Leah Clausen. As this hard pass to handle off the end boards this time around, but Eastman gets it back. But out of the reach of Schroeder and Carey altogether, they couldn't make anything happen for the time being. Now Labossiere heads to her bench. Extra attacker comes out for this select squad. As backdoor feed just misses off the mark for this Eastman squad. Beavis tries sending this down low, but instead it'll be intercepted. Another interception, this time by Summer Rae. Feeds this to Carey. That shot, rebound there. Great defense by Convery to take away that stick of Grenier, who had the best chance to get that rebound. Empty net, O'Brien looks to put it home, and she does! Number 2 looks like she puts the exclamation point on this one. Exclamation point, as I should say. Not sure how clearly those words just came out, but clear right now that even though they've given up 44 shots, all they've needed is 16 to put 2 past Labossiere. Of course, she was out of her crease and to the bench for the extra attacker. Eastman, they had some good looks, couldn't capitalize. Execution a bit off this afternoon for them. Something they'll be looking to work on as this weekend goes along. But as for Pembina Valley, a game where their goaltender has been really good. They battled for her in front of her net and around her crease. They've been rewarded as an opportunistic brunch here tonight. That goal brought to you by Terrico, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. As Chloe Carrier whips this back D to D. Number 20 and Sophie Remillard trying to smother her way through now is Sasha Lambert, but just at the last moment a Hawk swoops in. Take that away. Reese Beavis takes it behind her own net. It's in the corner. Now sent up the left wall and all the way back down into the Pembina Valley zone. Schroeder, nice job to plug up the wall there, trying to create a turnover. She does. It's down low to Sasha Lambert. In the skates of Schroeder, that puck was. Ended up losing it in the corner as Pembina Valley sends this all the way down low. Not going to be hard enough to get down for an icing. So with 35 seconds remaining on the clock now for the Pembina Valley Hawks. For Matt Victor, had a lot of praise for the Eastman Selects. Admitted that he was excited to see them on the schedule and excited to see his group against them. Going up against this team, it's a real tester to see where your group is at. As Eastman was the standard last year, has a bunch of returning players this year. And even though they were missing star in particular in Vaderigo, had most of their squad here for Pembina Valley. Their squad stepping up big time and earning a 3-1 win to open up their showcase. And this one, I think, means just a bit more given who it was against. Congratulations to Madison Freeze and the rest of this team on a phenomenal effort this afternoon. Sophia Cox scoring the game-winning goal. Cassie O'Brien with the insurance marker. And yeah, execution just a bit off this afternoon for the Eastman Selects. 44 shots, 1 goal to show for it. They won't be back in action until tomorrow morning against a familiar opponent again in the Winnipeg Ice. Puck drops at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow on gshowproductions.uscreen.io. But as for this game, a feel-good win to start off the weekend for the Pembina Valley Hawks. 3-1 is your final. Thank you to Terrico, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Movement Fitness and Performance, and Elite Prospects for sponsoring another matchup. from the showcase for Terrico, our third period sponsor. Serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. Be sure to check out their website at terrico.ca. Anthony Bailey will have the call for you next for the Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy Buffaloes taking on the Central Plains Capitals. Central Plains' second game of the day and their final game of day one coming up next on day one of 3 of the 2025 Central Plains Capitals Showcase. That's it for game 3, everybody. 3-1 the final for the Pembina Valley Hawks over the defending MFHL champion, Eastman Selects. Take care. Thanks for watching.